Bay YouTube, it is Charles here, and it's Thursday. You know what that means. It is time for another action figure unboxing. Today we're looking at an action figure from Mattel from WWE's Elite Series, Series number 115, featuring Tyler Bate here. He's been with the company for nearly a decade, and he's done some big things. He was the first ever WWE United Kingdom champion after that inaugural tournament. NXT UK champion. I believe he's on the main roster now, but I am a big fan of his from his NXT UK and NXT runs back in the day. So I'm very happy to get this in my collection. I actually have his tag team partner from the independent scene, and from NXT UK, from the British Strong Style faction, Pete Dunne. And you notice that Pete Dunne came with the UK Championship. Pete Dunne was the second UK champion. He actually won it from Tyler Bate. So let's get into this. Looking at the packaging here, has a short little write-up. Says the big strong boy made his SmackDown debut, reminding Pete Dunne who he really is, where he came from, and forming the new Catch Republic. So apparently him and Pete Dunne are a tag team again. Very cool information. This line features CM Punk, R-Truth, Tyler Bate, Kairi Sane, Drew McIntyre, and The Rock. So let's get into it. As we know, I am not a mint on card collector, so this is coming out of the box. Now the way that I do my reviews is I use what I call the 3A system. Those 3A's are appearance. How does it look? Does it look like the character it's based on? Things like paint, texture, realism, so on and so forth. After appearance, we talk about articulation. How does it move? How many points of articulation does it have? Does the articulation move well and pose easily? And after articulation, accessory. What does it come with? And so, let's get it out of the box here. Oh, we got a couple of twist ties. Now, one thing that I've always liked about Tyler Bate is, despite his short stature, he worked a style that more of a strong man. Yeah, he can fly a little bit, but he's incredibly strong and he uses that in his moveset, which you don't see a lot in shorter competitors. Alright, so now we got everything out of the box. Let's take a look, starting with appearance. And we'll start with the entrance vest or entrance jacket. Let's say it's a robe. I like this. On the back, it has his name and kind of a design based on leaves there. I really dig it. The hair gets a little bit in the way there. We have this thick plastic molded hair. Yeah, I wish they could do something different, maybe make it a little bit softer, you know, so we can get some more emotion out of the action figure. But this is a cool little robe. It's soft goods. Back in the day, for instance, when this figure was made of Pete Dunne, if you look at his entrance vest, it looks great, but it's a very hard rubber. Even though it has no sleeves, it's very hard to get on and off. This should be a little bit easier. The long sleeves may make it difficult. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's not a bad accessory to move on and off here. And like I said, I always give a grade higher when it's a soft good accessory. Alright, now let's talk about the appearance. We know that Mattel uses True Effects face scan technology, so the face is going to be spot on. I like the beard there, the texture therein. The hair, it looks a little bit blah. But, I mean, that's the hairstyle he's wearing at the time. I don't like the thick rubber they use on it. I think they could use something softer so it wouldn't hinder the mobility of the head. But that's okay. But yeah, outside of my nitpick with the hair, I think the head looks great. And then going down here, we have the arm. We have this whole sleeve here on the left. It says Big Strong Boy on the inside. Great looking detail. And you can see the tattoo poking out the bottom, out the top of it. He actually has a full sleeve on that left arm that the sleeve covers up here. And I think that this is a missed opportunity to change texture with this arm sleeve here. You know, the texture is exactly the same going from the skin tone to the arm sleeve down to the hand. I think if we could have maybe made this feel slightly different, maybe raise it a little more to signify that it's not a tattoo, it's an actual piece of clothing, I think that would have been a very good thing to do on that left arm. But yeah, the size and stature looks accurate. And then on the back of the trunks, we have the same design there. There's on the back of the jacket, his name there. And this is another personal note. I never liked this design of his tights that make his wrestling trunks look like tidy whities. That's just the funny thing. But it is accurate to the way that he dresses in the ring. Going down, no knee pads. I like that for two reasons. One, because he never wears knee pads, and two, knee pads always hinder that brilliant double jointed articulation. So we don't have to worry about that at all. We have some socks here going down into the boot. I like the boot texture. You can tell, I think they could have maybe done a little bit darker to emphasize that brown leather look to it, but the laces are painted on. Great detail there. I'll give the appearance, I will give an A-. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm recording this later because I forgot to talk about one of the 3 A's, and that is articulation. I edited the video, added music, uploaded it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't talk about one of the most important criteria. So let's get to that now. Starting with the head. The head is on a ball joint. Goes all the way around. And the movement is okay despite the thick hair going on here. And then the shoulder. Let's get the entrance jacket off here. Shoulder goes all the way around and up and down. We have a cut between the shoulder and bicep for horizontal left to right movement. Pinless double jointed elbows that go all the way up. Wrist goes all the way around and the hand goes back and forth. The torso is on a back and forth rocker. The hips swivel all the way around and going down from the hips to the legs. We have the ball joint and a cut in the upper thigh for horizontal left to right movement. Pinless double jointed knees. And a cut at the calf right above the boot here for left to right motion. And the foot goes, it is on a swivel and it goes back and forth. Very loose joints, but still we get the full range of motion here. And so that is articulation. For great articulation, I would give it an A-. The minus because of the very, very loose out of the box joints. I can tell that's going to be a problem as this figure ages. So, back to the rest of the review. And I have to go back, re-edit, and re-upload So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Now let's talk about accessories. We talked about the main accessory already, the entrance jacket. Good looking accessory. It's a soft goods. That gets an A from me always. And then we have 2 pointing hands that you can replace here. I think that, yeah, they add a little bit of character, but what we have are the 2 pointing hands, and then we have 2 gripping hands. I think if we could have done, you could have easily thrown a couple of pair of fists in there. We know that they don't have to make new molds for every fist, and so it could have been something they could have thrown in there. But at the same token, I have so many Mattel figures that I have fists that I can interchange with this with no problem. But yeah, overall, I would give this action figure a A-, B+. I really dig it. Let's get him next to Pete Dunne here. They line up real nice. This is from 2 different eras, but as you can see, they're comparable in size. Yeah, definitely an A-, B+ overall. If you can find it in that $20 price range, I think that is the ticket. It's not one that you're gonna see a lot because he is not your Roman Reigns or your big main event characters. But if you like the deep cuts, if you like the more mid-card guys like myself, he is well worth it. I will say that the feet are very, very loose coming out of the box. And I would rather have stiff joints than joints that are loose coming out of the box, because you can always soften up joints fairly easily. But when they're this loose coming out of the box, they may only get looser. And so it's going to develop issues standing up on its own, as we can see already. So that's the only big flaw I see with this action figure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you got it. And I will see you next time. Until then, keep reading books. If you like the content and like to contribute to the growth of this channel, you can buy me a coffee with the QR code on the screen. And I will see you next time. Tune in tomorrow for a brand new comic book review. And I'll see you next time. Uncle Blurred is out.